It's
Instead,
exploitation of labor and exploitation of immigrant labor to bring in to fill in low-end jobs. These corporations in other countries in Europe pay a living wage and still make huge profits.
but the
So
thing
there's
is
no
too,
reason they can't do that here.
well, here's what he says, right? The he announced the Conservative Party would scrap the temporary foreign worker program that lets hundreds of thousands of low-wage foreigners undercut Canadian jobs. Well, that isn't what really the problem here is. It's which companies get to hire these people that undercut Canadian jobs. In other words, if the wages were high enough to attract the unemployed, or if the unemployed could somehow be impelled, to take these jobs, then that wouldn't be a problem. Now, what he also says here, and you'll love this. Uh, Anybody who reads Rebel News every once in a while, it's
Yeah,
like a
I don't.
comic book.
Yeah,
It's actually fun stuff. You got to read it just to see what the conservatives are really thinking about.
I'll
But
stick with the Beaverton.
but he says there are a lot of reasons why youth unemployment is so high in Canada, but the Liberal decision to bring in cheap foreign labor to drive down wages and take entry level jobs is one of the most outrageous. This is Isra Levant, who's a quite the character. But in
Yeah.
any event, don't drive down. You can't drive it lower than minimum. So raise the minimum. I mean,
Well,
these
we
guys.
all know that the minimum income on an hourly basis would be about 25 bucks an hour. And that, if you compare to the statistics of wages earned in the 1980s compared to wages earned right now, we should be at a minimum wage of about 25 to $27 an hour. And the fact that we are not, that falls on the shoulders of all governments, whether liberal or conservative. I'm not playing favorites here. The minimum wage needs to go up to provide the standard of living to be able to live, period. And we as a country have the ability to set what's called minimum wages. Why isn't it done? Because big corporations say, oh, no, 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 we're not making enough money, and why should we pay that to our backbone of our industry, the workers, to make money off of us? And that's a capitalist model. Doesn't work, folks.
Let's look at what this also is. The conservatives have not put out any major policy statements. They thought they were coasting to a win against Trudeau, so they kept their
Correct.
mouth shut so people wouldn't realize what they were all about until they
Yes.
got elected, which is a great Paul, when you're winning in the polls, don't say anything. But what this is, there is a genocide going on in Gaza.